across to our economics editor, Ed Conway, who has all the details.
Well, Jeff, of course, the budget is supposed to be one of the biggest fiscal events. In other words, talking about borrowing, talking about spending that the government is going to do. And let's just have a look at some of the big numbers when it comes to that. And we have many of them here. It looks intimidating, I know. We have all of this, but I'm going to show you just a few of the most interesting numbers when it comes to that fiscal story here. And here's the overall picture. This is essentially where the government is bringing in cash on this side. These are tax revenues, and where it's spending money on the other side. So you can see everything from social protection, welfare, essentially, transport, health, and so on. And on this side, income tax, and so on. And you can see there's a bit missing here from the revenue side. That, of course, is borrowing, and the borrowing picture is something we can take a look at just over here, because the picture has changed. Whereas previously the Chancellor was expecting borrowing to come down, he's expecting it to come down a bit quicker now, not an enormous amount, but a bit quicker. And the upshot is that come 2018-19, he was expecting a surplus before, but he's now expecting a £5 billion surplus. In other words, money coming in rather than going out, or at least enough money coming in to outnumber the stuff that's going out, so you don't have that blue borrowing chunk in the future. So what does that imply for where the actual money is going to be spent? Let's just look at a few of the measures. We mentioned pensions before. Now, a lot of people might have assumed that when it comes to pensions, that money, and come in and just look at these numbers, that money is going to involve money leaving the Treasury. In fact, it's coming into the Treasury as a result of these reforms. Money coming in because people aren't necessarily keeping their cash tied up there, and they are actually paying tax to bring it out. The ISA tax change, that does cost a bit of money there. You can see about 200, 300 million a year. But the biggest cost of all is the change in the tax-free allowance. That wasn't one of the rabbits out of the hat. We knew that was coming for quite some time, but by far and away, that's the biggest measure. Overall, though, I'm just going to show you one last thing. This was not a big budget. In fiscal terms, when you look at the total policy decisions, those are not big numbers. It was neutral, but not only was it neutral over the course of the Parliament, it was rather small.